Movie notes on Star Trek 2009 film, 12 August 2025 viewing. Here I, Tanis Leonhardi of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for my Tuesday, 12 August 2025 viewing of the 2009 film Star Trek, which is a fiction film about the assembling of the members, ongoing and new, of the USS Enterprise and the rise of Captain Kirk as Captain Kirk, becoming Captain Kirk as Captain Kirk. Becoming. I'm oscillating on that. So, the rise of Captain Kirk becoming Captain Kirk. So it's kind of like, there have been a few remakes of storylines from Star Trek in movie form based on the television show Star Trek. And this was kind of introducing it in movie form. And so there's also Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond, which I've talked about on this channel before. And so this one is kind of like the bringing the characters and the elements of Star Trek together in this initial movie to have a foundation that they can build upon, they could build upon for additional movies that they chose to do, but also just like, you know, this is like, in that sense, the assembling of the crew is kind of a defining of Star Trek in the USS Enterprise. So it's kind of cool in that sense. It does, so previously for Star Trek Into Darkness, I brought up cryogenics. I was like, what's something sciencey in here? And so the bad guys in this movie have a drilling machine that they use on planets, including Vulcan, the home planet of Spock. And so there's one. Another one is, I think, perhaps the most famous of the sciencey is like Scotty. And so this is the one. This is a movie where he comes up with a warp drive formula. So for those who, like in a sense of coming up with a formula may be mathematics, however, because it applied to physical reality and the moving of spacecraft through physical reality, or humans through physical reality, or species or whatever, can think of it as a physics kind of realm of science. And then another one, let's see, how does a Spock escape something with some kind of like basic like detonation and corresponding detonation like balances? Is that chemical? Is that physical? Okay. So there's are kind of plot elements, or more isolated plot elements that are, I would classify as science. So it might be science fiction, but it's also like, there's like if you want to understand science, if you like get the warp drive formula, like understand it on just like formula generation, and that's something like written can describe like something that exists in physical form, or could exist in physical form. So there's chances to understand like real science, even if this science in the movie is fiction, kind of thing. Okay. And then I liked kind of just describing it as a assembling of the crew, and I was like, okay, can I provide an example that's kind of analogous? And I was like, yeah, it's like my elliptical. Some assembly required, so it came in a big box with a bunch of parts, and then I had to put the parts together. So some of the parts were there and already put together, like the flywheel. So that would be the already crew members. So the crew members were already part of the USS Enterprise. And then some parts for this elliptical that I had, some had to be put together. So that would be like the new crew members coming on board and adjusting to life on board with the USS Enterprise. So there we go. Those are my movie notes on Star Trek 2009 film, 12 August 2025 viewing.